It feels good to have a couple of the broadcast boys in the broadcast booth. I mean, we got some scrimmages coming up here. The tour is going to be right around the corner. How cool does it feel to be looking out at historic Grayson Stadium, Josh Talevsky?
It's colder than it usually is. So as far as that aspect goes, I'm not a big fan. Never been a fan of the cold. In fact, I despise it. I have been walking around outside 4 layers deep. I only have 3 on right now, but I also have an overcoat that counts as my 4th layer. But aesthetically speaking, in terms of Grayson Stadium, I mean, it's as gorgeous as ever. I love her.
It's a beautiful day
Chooseful.
here. Wish we could share it with you, Biko.
I likewise. It's. I mean, the weather's honestly, Jersey City. It's been pretty hot recently. I signed up for a TSA pre-check yesterday, so only a year late for getting it for the 33 times 2 plane rides that we took, even though that's not the real math last year. Anyhow, I would like a round of applause for me signing up for TSA pre-check. Thank you.
I'm really proud of you. The worst part was always, getting into an airport with you and we go through most of the process together, and then I go into the pre-check line and I just see you suffering going through the regular line with all the normies, as apparently that's what airport goers call the people who don't do TSA pre-check. Which by the way, how overall, what was the experience like doing pre-check? Because mine, I could not believe it. It was seamless. It was crazy. I mean, they've expedited the whole everything, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was delightful. What made me think of it is I was rocking my Dalton Malden sweatshirt, and I was chastised by the woman working for wearing only a sweatshirt in the sleet and freezing cold of Manhattan, which was just, it was nice. Felt like I had another mother in the middle of the Big Apple. But it was quick as could be. I mean, I used my passport. It's the first time I've had one of those jobbers in my life, so now I could leave the country, even though I still have not. But yeah, it took 3 minutes, 4 minutes, maybe, and then I was out. Shout out Staples. It's
it was
$78
inside of a
5
Staples.
years.
It was inside of Staples.
That's always where I've done it. I mean, I tried to do it a couple years ago, or 1 year ago rather, but I was using a duplicate birth certificate apparently, so that was a no-go.
Dude, I hear that they have TSA pre-checks set up in so many different locations. I wouldn't have guessed that it was in a Staples. Chad, because you have TSA pre-check, right?
I do.
Chad, where was yours at?
I can confirm that the Staples in Savannah, Georgia does do this process, but I did not do mine there. Were you with me, Josh? No? Okay.
No, I got mine in Athens.
Okay. We went to some, what do they call, like a minute clinic kind of thing out in Pooler. And
Place you could do government stuff.
yeah, but also it was
Yeah.
primarily for health benefits. The person who did mine was a nurse wearing scrubs. So
Fascinating.
yeah,
That's
it was a
Mr.
strange
TSA
process,
pre-check.
and they basically just asked me 3 questions, and then they were just okay, here you go. It took
Yeah.
5 minutes. It was very bizarre, and there was an oxygen
Yeah.
lounge there. I don't really know what an oxygen lounge is, but
That's where you
that
can
was
get
there.
extra oxygen. Just
yeah,
chill out with some extra. I was gonna say CO2. That's not what you want. H2O. No, that's water. O.
just
It's
some O.
It's just O.
I just wanted to
It's
know.
just O.
Didn't
Josh,
try
I feel
it.
like your experience was different than either of ours.
Mine was just in this building that looked like it had been occupied by some business relatively recently, but it was sandwiched between a UPS store and, oh goodness, I want to say possibly a tattoo parlor.
Okay, and what's the building? It is.
Yeah, it was like in a plaza, like a shopping plaza.
But what is it? Does it only do TSA pre-check?
It kind of seemed like that was all they were doing in that Joker. I'm gonna be honest, and it was one person, legitimately one person. Crazy.
That one person holds the fate of who can get through the TSA faster.
That's
Amazing.
fascinating. That's really fascinating.
I heard
like-
you can go to a Subway now and get a sandwich and your TSA pre-check. I
At
heard
the
they're in
same time?
Subways.
It's got to be. You got to get a foot long though. So, and did you have an expedited process as well? Like, was it easy breezy, beautiful, cover girl?
I was the only person in that place.
Well, yeah.
She was. I
naturally.
mean, she was pretty happy probably to see a soul come in there. And I know I like registered ahead of time. I'm sure you guys had to register ahead of time too and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yes.
just walked in and she was like, Josh, and I was like, oh, you got it.
I've been waiting for you, Mr. Talevsky.
Dude, every time, I am telling you, man, people I don't know who just come up to me like off the street or something and like use my first name or go full name, first and last name, like 1-1 most unsettling thing ever in my life. Like, I do not enjoy when that kind of thing happens.
No, we didn't talk about. Speaking of, we didn't talk about Josh Wine last week, right? Like, we haven't brought this up on the podcast. It's
No,
taken
dude.
over.
I've been seeing the memes going around. That's crazy.
I'm
It's like the
unfamiliar with
hottest
Josh
meme.
Wine.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me,
I
Chad?
consider myself a meme connoisseur. I have been taking some time away from Twitter. I'll be real. You know, Biko, you send me all the tweets that I need. Genuinely, I don't even bother looking at my feed anymore. I just look at our chat. But I'm
what I'm
please,
curating for you.
please fill me in on Josh Wine.
It's just. It's like the hot. It's what I'm seeing more than any other trend of meme.
Okay, I'm gonna
on
go on my
Twitter
phone right now, and
currently.
I'm gonna scroll through Twitter until I find this.
I was introduced to the meme through like of course the meme like has an original, you know? And then a bunch of other memes spawn off from the original. So I was introduced to the meme from one of the Spawn creations from the meme, and I just got on Twitter, and the first tweet on my feed said, Jesus really took water and turned it into Josh. And I was so confused. I was like, what does this mean? And so I started just seeing a bunch of other Josh memes and then came to find the original and found out like how this whole thing kind of just blew up.
Yeah, like I'm seeing the majority I'm seeing is like somebody has that Josh in them. You know, it's like they've got that dog in them. And it's just like an X-ray and there's a couple bottles of Josh in there. It's really good content. I've enjoyed. I have not seen one of them that I have disliked. The first one I saw, and I didn't know if it was real or not, was somebody saying like, "Oh, you know, I'm not drinking this cheap gas station wine. I've got that good stuff," and it was a bottle of Josh. And
I
then
believe
after
that's
I saw
the
that,
original meme.
yeah, after I saw that, my timeline has been flooded for like a week or a week and a half now. It feels like.
Okay, I don't know if this counts, but this is the first one that I'm seeing. I've been scrolling the entire time you were talking, trying to find any Josh. I'm seeing somebody at George Taylor G, shout out, tweeted "bro" with 4 O's and an image of the song "Infinite Josh" by The World Is a Beautiful Place and I Am No Longer Afraid to Die, and then they retweeted it. The band. That's all I've. That's the only Josh meme that I've got. I'm gonna keep going though.
I don't even.
I'm
It
not
could
sure
be
that
affiliated.
counts.
I'm not sure. I wouldn't call it a meme. I feel like it's just someone talking. Like maybe the person who retweeted it with the bros, like, "Whoa, there's a song called Infinite Josh," and they're only doing it because of the Josh memes. But I wouldn't call that you know. And it could completely be unaffiliated. This guy could have just stumbled upon this song and loved Infinite Josh.
That's a good
So,
band.
inconclusive.
I haven't listened to Josh, but
I had never heard of those folks before in my life.
that's
I've
okay.
never even had a bottle of Josh, to tell you the truth here. I've long been
Is that the
familiar.
name? Is that there's a
with
the wine
wine
decent, but
I've never
brand
had
called
any.
Josh?
Yeah,
That's
of course. I've had a decent amount of Josh. I've
You've had
probably
it.
in total had like 5 or 6 bottles of Josh in my life.
Okay.
Like not myself, like I haven't fully downed, but I've been a part of like 5 or 6 bottles of Josh.
So
I've probably
so
had,
how
like,
does
2 or 3 in total.
how does Josh stand up to the rest of the pack? You know.
It's good. It's like it's very affordable, which is like part of what the joke is. It's like I'd say it's like a step above like Barefoot
Right, yeah.
But it's like good. It's like a good $20 bottle of wine, and I'm no sommelier, but in my palate, and what I hear from the people who I think have maybe a better taste for vino, they say that it stands up for its value.
Do you think we could go find it at a local liquor store?
Yes. Oh yeah.
I think you could go to
yeah.
your local grocery store and find a bottle of Josh, Chad.
Okay.
Yes, grocery store. Yes, I think like it's like a step above gas station though. Like I don't think you're gonna find Josh in a gas station, but every liquor store, every wine store, unless it's like a hoity-toity wine store, is gonna have Josh.
Guys, I don't know
It's
if my For
hilarious.
You is very Josh pilled right now.
That's huge for the brand, man.
We got to
I mean, I'm
throw.
happy
It is
for
huge
you.
for the brand. We got to throw Steve Kellogg some followers on MySpace. He's got a 2021 bottle of Josh. He's saving until he gets 1,000 followers on the space.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh. That's only going to get better
Did you
with
guys have
age.
MySpace pages?
Do I have a MySpace page?
Did you ever?
Can't say that I did, pal. What about you?
Yeah, you're too
I
young
did not.
for it.
I'll
Chad.
be real. I did not.
Oh, I'm the only MySpace guy here.
I was. My
Oh,
parents were
MySpace
very
was so
protective
cool.
of social media. They did not want me. But I found
Yeah.
workarounds with Webkins and Club Penguin.
I loved Club Penguin. MySpace was like when Facebook started ripping, MySpace was at the top at one point for social media. And then Facebook started charging in, and like Facebook was MySpace for like old people. Like my dad and my mom and my aunts and uncles were on Facebook, but MySpace was the last bastion of cool youth social media. And then it crumbled to Meta.
MySpace was for the kids, you know? Like, yeah.
Oh,
we're hip. We're
it was
cool.
so cool. It was awesome. You went to someone's profile and it immediately started playing a playlist that they curated.
Seemed pretty awesome.
Is that actually a thing?
Yeah.
Correct. For the majority of the life of my profile, which this is like probably 3rd to 5th grade ish, Superstition by Stevie Wonder.
That's awesome.
Was number 1. You got to my playlist and it was just
You have like a cool background.
yeah, oh yeah, you had crazy. There was all kinds of cool backgrounds and stuff. I played a lot of Mafia Wars on MySpace. I don't know if you ever
I played that on
played Mafia
Facebook.
Wars. Correct. It was also it branched into. It was one of those like, why were there these games on social media? I feel like there aren't games on social media anymore. But I did a
Yeah.
lot of Farmville on Facebook, and I did
Yep.
a lot of Mafia Wars on MySpace.
I was big into Farmville. I played that a lot, and
Oh,
I also
I miss my farm.
I
yearn to
admittedly,
farm.
and this is potentially a crime. So, guys, if this is the last you see me, sorry.
Oh.
But back in
Yeah, someone's
2011,
listening.
2012, I was making fake Facebook accounts out the wazoo to send requests on Farmville.
I don't think that's a crime. I don't think there's anything illegal about that.
Okay. Even if I was using like real names.
Like you were using like the names of classmates or
Yeah.
something like that?
Yeah.
Oh.
I got in trouble for that.
Oh, you're impersonating other people, Chad.
I don't know why. I could have just made it like John Smith, but maybe I wanted like my Facebook profile to still seem cool.
And what's next? You're gonna steal their mail too?
That actually is a good question, and I need you guys to be because this is something that's been on my mind recently. I need some guidance here, fellas.
Okay.
I get mail
sorry.
constantly for the people that lived in my
Yes.
place before, and I just throw that
Right.
stuff away every single time. Throw it in the in
Yeah.
the trash. Throw
Yeah.
it in the trash. And my roommate
c-
stopped me and was like, "Chad, you should take it to the post office." I'm not taking it to the post office.
You
What
don't
do
have to
you
take it to the
mean?
post office. What you should do, and sorry, my laptop's about to die, and for some reason it's not charging. I don't know if my charger's broken, so you may lose me in a second.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
no.
I'm in full crisis mode right now.
It's okay.
But what you should be doing is with a blue or black pen, write "return to sender" on it, and then just put it back in your mailbox. And then they'll.
I am in a complex where there's just like a wall of mailboxes. I genuinely
charging.
feel like they're not even looking at. Like they're just stuffing more stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if the UPS.
Oh, wait, no. I'm
FedEx.
sorry. You don't put it in your mailbox. You put it in outgoing mail, and then it goes
Okay.
to the sender. Yeah.
okay.
So stick it
Cool.
in the outgoing. Yeah.
I could do that.
But throwing it out, I mean, like, they kind of boofed on where it was supposed to go at this point.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I grew up in a wood furnace house my whole life, so a lot, that could also, that's fire starter right there.
Yep. Fires, put it in the shred bucket and put it in one of those paper shredders. Or the old college trick that my friends and I used to do is our coffee table had this little lid you could lift up on the top of it, and then like it could store board games and pillows and some blankets and whatnot. Like, it was really cool. What you do is you take all of the mail that isn't yours and just stuff all of the mail in the storage container of this coffee table, and then fill it up all the way, and then eventually you just get invited to like a random bonfire somewhere and bring all of that old mail and burn it. Now that is the good stuff right there.
That's a great
because
idea.
like your friends are going to forget to bring enough firewood to like last for, I don't know, 4 hours. Like, there will not be enough firewood for some reason.
Never is.
Probably because college kids don't have the money for that much firewood. So when it all seems like, the fire is going to die, you come in like an absolute hero with all of the resident before you's old mail and light that stuff on fire, and boy, it just, boom. Dude, it's a big flame. It's awesome.
Do you guys have any bonfire catastrophes in your life?
I wouldn't call it a catastrophe, but one time when I was in high school, I was getting to know this kid, Zach, one of my best friends now. And one of the first times we hung out was at a bonfire. Like, we were like really clicking and vibing. And he looks at me and he's like, "Hey, Chad, you want to have a competition to sit the closest to the fire for the longest?" I was like, "Yeah, do." And we sat
How old are you?
maybe I was like 16, 17.
Okay. Yep.
We sat ridiculously close to that fire pit, like maybe a couple inches, and we both got actually pretty badly burned on our like front half from that. So that's the biggest like catastrophe. That's second-degree burn.
You were wearing shorts around the fire, Chad?
I think so, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I've ever in my life been around a fire and been wearing shorts, believe it or not.
It's those weeknights in the summer, man. What can you do?
That's a tough one. I don't know if I've ever worn shorts around a fire. It's like I never thought about it. I've been around over 100 fires. No. Yeah, I've been probably around close to 100 outside fires. I've been around hundreds of fires of any kind as a fireplace kid. But yeah, shorts I was confounded by the fact that you had shorts on around this fire.
Not the fact that I got hurt, guys. God forbid my fashion choices were the biggest catastrophe.
Yeah, it's clearly the reason you got burned, dude.
That was the fun part. That's a
Yeah, they
lifelong
feel
memory that
linked.
I've got with my buddy.
Nice. Josh, you ever have any catastrophes at a fire?
Off the top of the dome, no. But it kind of feels like we should have, because especially in high school, when we were just growing up in my town, like the parties you went to were field parties, Just put kids out in a field with fire and let them like run around and do whatever they want. Dude, that is
Checks out.
a perfect party still for me. Like, I just love that type of activity. When the fire would die, even though we still actually had more firewood, because whoever would host this, their parents usually had plenty. Dads were pretty handy, and we were from an agricultural, town. We would still just get a gas tank, that like you'd fill up a lawnmower with and just pour gasoline into the fire. And it would obviously that flame would climb incredibly high. So it feels like it should have just came right back at us and like burned our faces off. But that never seemed to happen, tell you the truth.
Yeah, that's That sounds like some Madison, Georgia shenanigans right there. Things that would happen in Saugerties, New York too, which might surprise some people. I've seen two people both trying to jump over a fire at the same time. Little miscommunication, collision, both land on the fire and roll out.
No.
Yep, that's pretty tough. The true all-time worst though is one of my good buddies. We were just putting all kinds of sticks and leaves and foliage on a fire, and he did not notice something he grabbed was poison sumac and tossed it in there, and the smoke gave a ton of people at the fire poison sumac and got my one buddy so bad like he could barely breathe because he inhaled so much of this poison
gosh.
sumac.
Wow.
Smoke. Yeah.
That's awful.
You got to be wary what you toss in those puppies.
No kidding, man.
I haven't
yeah.
thrown poisonous plants in there one time, but I was camping and cooking something over a fire when I threw some pine needles a fire, and
That's fun.
that ruined the taste. It tasted like we were eating pine sol. Burned great. I thought it was going to be a great idea, but never do that again.
Similar to the pouring gas on these fires, I almost blew up my farmhouse once by one of those oil burners. You turn the oil on.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I had turned it on, got distracted. It was on for a while.
Oh
then
my
I was like,
gosh.
let's flick this puppy on. Whoosh. Like absolutely smoked myself. So then as a party trick, once I figured out you could do that, I would do it for like a minute or so and grab the biggest pot lid that I had, and to impress like people over, I was like, watch this. I'd light a match and it would go up and I would shield my face and body with a giant pot lid.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Cool.
Pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
You guys ever burned couches? Have you ever been fortunate enough to like burn couches? Because I'm pretty sure like college traditions at certain universities are like, oh, you win the big game and everybody is going to take couches and light them on fire. That did not happen where I came from, so I was curious if like that was typical behavior for either of you guys.
Never burned a couch.
No, never burned a couch. We respect couches up here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sit
and
on.
like, and I'm pretty sure law enforcement, despite these being college traditions, like law enforcement frowns, a lot on the burning of couches.
As do I.
Yeah, a lot of burning couches at West Virginia, apparently.
Yeah, that sounds right. That does sound right.
Always burn couches.
Little callback here to Steve Kellogg. His MySpace name was Esteban Pertable.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. Got to be safe on the internet, man. Especially back then.
See, that's the kind of account you could have been creating on Facebook, Chad, for your Farmville bonuses.
Should have. I didn't think about it. I really wanted.
Instead
People-
of Jonathan Walters.
He was in my class at that age. I did know him.
That's good.
Do you think you created a...
No, I was
an
definitely
extra-
already
no.
tight with that guy. I was
You
already
saved-
like
oh, so you-
Facebook
this was-
friends.
This was randos. You were
Yeah,
like...
people that I was
Yeah.
not Facebook
He
friends.
just open up the yearbook, close his eyes, and land on a picture and be like, that's my Facebook account for the day.
Yeah, I must have made at least 20. Not J-Dub,
There's-
though.
Pretty much everybody in my high school growing up had one or two fake accounts of them at one point or another. But they were like, and people would be posting on them, and you'd have to like report them and stuff. It was, and then I've always had some good burners. I mean, back in the day, I know my fiance and a friend created a burner named Peanut Butter Phil, and it was the picture of that like 2-year-old covered in peanut butter. That's a pretty,
I hate
pretty good
that
meme
kid. I
online.
don't like the peanut
Yeah.
butter baby.
That's funny.
I don't like the sound he makes. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Not only the fact is he covered in peanut butter, but it weirds me out. I was gonna ask that too, it's about like burners. It wasn't like a super popular thing. I never did it. I had I wasn't friends with my mom and dad. But a lot of people that I knew in high school especially had, we called them Finstas. Did y'all have that? Was that a thing, Finstas?
Oh yeah.
I
yeah,
never made
I
one.
didn't- I couldn't put the effort in to
Me
have.
neither.
You-
I was
you
like,
see
I
how
don't
rarely
already
I
put
post
enough effort in my
already on
current
my
Instagram.
real one. Right.
Why make a second?
Yeah, literally. Correct.
Josh, you ever have a Finsta?
I did not have a Finsta. The only secondary account I've ever had in my life, I guess across any platform really, was an Instagram that I made at the end of my freshman year of high school for me and my pal Joseph, one of my childhood best friends. We ran for sophomore class presidents together, and we made an Instagram account to promote ourselves and try and win the whole shebang. And turns out that, spoiler, we did wind up winning, but it wasn't because of the Instagram account for sure. It was just because, for some reason, the only other group pair that was running against us just decided to drop out in the middle of it for, I never figured out why. And so we just kind of won on default, which, in my world, I guess I'll take it. I don't really know. And also,
I take that. That's a win. That's a W.
Yep.
But also,
Intimidation.
having an Instagram, my main Instagram account is Oh My Josh. And what would
Correct.
always happen, this happened in high school, it happened in college, it actually still happens today, is people want to shoot you a follow on the old social media. They're like, oh, what are you? And I'm like, oh, just look, Oh My Josh. Because saying Josh Talevsky, it's really hard to spell that last name for a lot of people. I tell them, Oh My Josh, and they're like, oh, is that a Finsta? And then I have to look at them somewhat ashamed and be like, no, actually, it's just my account.
Yeah, I'll
like
get
Oh
that
My
with
Josh.
Bico Rico Suave.
I like Oh
You
My
know?
Josh. When we were first starting, I wasn't sure if I should put your Twitter handle on the podcast, right next to you. I should put go live on Instagram. I should put that one, right? Plus, it's very easy to find you on Twitter, if you're looking for.
Yeah, when I actually created my Twitter, which happened in college when I started to do sports journalism, I was like, you know what, this time I'll just be at Josh Talevsky, Keep it real simple. I caved.
Yeah, see, I started my Twitter life back in the Bico Rico Suave days, and sometimes a child's brain creates something that just takes over your entire life. Who knew that this is something that I just wouldn't have the power in me to change, forever. I still have that's how I applied for my job at MLB Network after college, was BicoRicoSuave@gmail.com. They tell you over and over again it's time to be professional, and sometimes you just want to cling to one of your earliest ideas in life and never let go. I don't even know who I would be if I wasn't Bico Rico Suave.
Wouldn't be you. That's I think
Correct.
one of your best characteristics.
Thank you.
Deep down, you're still
Is that I
you're
came
still
up
the
with
same
this
13-year-old.
username when I
Wow.
was 10 years old. Yeah. That actually goes to my good friend Jamie Pulver's older sister, who's 2 or 3 years older than us, Rachel, started calling me Rico Suave because of the Geraldo song, Rico Suave. It's a banger.
And you were
You guys
jamming
had-
to that?
No. I'd never heard
Oh,
of it.
she just
She
liked
heard
the
of it.
song.
Yeah, she heard it at some point and was like, oh, well, Bico Rico Suave. Pico de Gallo was the other big early nickname for me. That was from one of my gym coaches, Bico de Gallo,
Yeah. That one's,
It was
it's
easy.
okay.
Yeah.
Like a
Paco
6 out of
Puffs,
10.
that was real early, but that didn't really, that was pretty abstract, Paco Puffs.
Yeah, that one's going over my head.
Yeah, I
I'm going to
don't-
be real.
You guys have any real early on nicknames that either could have defined your life or you shed them so that they wouldn't overpower your potential?
I've got 2.
Yeah.
I can share both of them unless.
No, please, go ahead.
See,
Chad.
Rad Cheese is just terrific.
Rad
Cheese
Cheese is great. I didn't discover that
it's
until I was
just- yeah.
14, and when I did, that was
Which is
a
amazing.
transcendence kind of day where it was
Yeah,
my
it took
third eye
14
opened
years
up.
to switch those letters.
Exactly, and I was like, blessing. I'm actually just gonna ramble for a minute, guys. So sit down, and we're gonna get some real fun stories
All
about
right.
my name.
Buckle in, everybody.
All right, I'll power through some of these quick ones. First one, name was picked out of a hat by my older brother. There was between Chad, Kyle, and Cade. I feel like Chad was probably the best of the three, but I also feel like my
100%.
parents had some very high expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our son
And-
Kyle's going to start punching drywall at 2 years old.
Yeah.
That's their high expectation.
So not really sure what they were going with that one, but I'm glad Chad was the winner. I did reject that name for a bit, and I wanted a
Naturally.
new one, as most kids do. I feel like everybody kind of goes through that age of, can I
Yeah.
change?
I
was
literally
really
did. I did do that.
Into Super Smash Brothers Melee at the time. Was very infatuated with the character Roy, like a swordsman with red hair, and his like sword has like fire on it, and awesome. So I wanted my name to be Roy.
I thought you were going to say you want your name to be like Captain Falcon.
I thought he was going to go
Tonight.
Kirby.
I wish. I wish. I love Roy. Because then there's 3 sword characters, Link, Roy, and Mark, and my friends from school, like that was like our trio was what we went. I was Roy.
Sword
My
boys.
friend Seth was Link, and my friend Ross was. So I was that for like a few months. My mom loves to give me crap for that. After Roy faded away, I also gave myself the nickname, and this one's a great one that my mom also loves to poke fun at. It is, I called myself Chad the Winner Reese.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about manifesting.
Like that was like the most confidence I think I ever had as a child, was when I was just only referring to myself as the winner.
I think every Chad calls himself the winner at
This
some
is
point
a
in their
big-
life.
And now Chad kind of
The
is like
winner.
emblematic of the winner.
Exactly.
So I was ahead of the curve. So that's a great one.
That's it.
And I think that's all I got. Oh, one more actually. My initials are CBR. But when they decided the name Chad, that was pulled out of a hat, my dad wanted them to be CCR because one of his favorite bands is Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Sure.
He's like, that'd be awesome if he had. Mom was like, no, his middle name should be my maiden name. So, CBR.
And your middle name is
Oh,
Benson.
I know. Benson. Yeah.
Benson. Yeah, which plays because that is also a first name, so it's like not that abstract. CBR.
Chad Fortunate Son Reese would have been really powerful.
And none of them have stuck. I'm just Chad still. Rad
Yeah,
Cheese is
but-
there, but
In parentheses, the winner is still
always.
there. It never
That's
left.
always implied.
Big Charlie Sheen vibes attached to that one, Chad. I'm going to be honest here.
Dude, I was like 9 and just learned that I can play Guitar Hero on hard. I was riding the highest high I've ever
Yep.
felt in my entire life.
You were
Cool.
drinking tiger's blood. Like
Yeah.
you're at the peak of your powers.
Yep.
I've never heard. That's the best. That's the truly the best childhood nickname I've ever heard of anybody.
Completely gave it to
The
myself.
winner.
Did not stick.
Oh, the regular show did make Benson a killer name. That's
Yep,
a,
that's
that's a
always
good
the
name.
one that I
Steve's
go
on point
to.
there.
is like, you know what? I got the gumball machine. I'll take it.
Regular show and Adventure Time back in the day with my little brother. Ooh, I loved watching those ditties. Just watched an Adventure Time episode last week after playing Adventure Time Munchkin, and it was
Nice.
like still hits.
Did you just pick a random one or?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
watched episode 4, the Candyland zombies.
I just finished a full rewatch of Adventure Time last month, actually. And
Impressive.
it's amazing. That show is fantastic. I won't link already ramp, but it's crazy just where that show goes from season 1 to season
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
And it is incredible. It's one of the best shows. Absolutely.
Juiceful. You ever get into those puppies, Josh?
Yeah, I watched both of those shows. I wouldn't say that I was a a religious watcher though. So I don't know. I didn't even know they gave Adventure Time 10 seasons. That's unbelievable.
And 2 spin-offs, and basically a movie. Not really a movie. Kind of like a 30-minute in parts. Lots
Yeah.
of stuff. It's still going too. There's a whole other
It's
spin-off
useful.
happening right now.
It's
Are you guys
unstoppable.
Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon kid?
I didn't have cable, so it was neither most of the time. But if I was at either of my grandparents' houses and I had the power of cable television, it was pretty split. It was like pretty. It was like probably 40% each, and then a 20% Disney.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I was more of a Cartoon Network guy
Yep.
because I remember, like, I can recall way more Cartoon Network shows that I watched as a child versus Nickelodeon. Like Nickelodeon, I was just watching because SpongeBob was on, and Jimmy Neutron was on, and like the Fairly Odd Parents were on. But as far as Cartoon Network goes, man, I could. Their lineup was just so thick, full of incredible shows. Like I was watching every single one of those.
Same. I felt like I was definitely interested in what Nickelodeon had going on. SpongeBob is still number 1, no matter what. SpongeBob.
Okay, well let's put that to the test. Impromptu childhood cartoon draft.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
good stuff right
Okay.
there.
Thank you. Josh, you can decide the order.
Oh goodness. See, because I feel like we're all gonna take the same pick, 1-1, and
Then can
just
we
like,
just put SpongeBob off the table?
Oh yeah, I like that idea.
SpongeBob is
Goated
not available.
unanimous
Yeah.
number 1.
It's
So
goated.
it's SpongeBob and the rest. It is goated, so that's fair.
Okay, well then, if that is the case, I'm gonna be real cool about this. You know, I'm gonna go Chad, and then I'm gonna go Biko, and I'll pick last.
Steve Kellogg, this is why I tune in. Thank you, Steve. This is what we do it for. Okay, so I'm starting.
Okay,
Yes.
Chad.
Okay. I will start. I'll start with Adventure Time. I love Adventure Time. I'll make sure that I can. I honestly didn't
like
watch a ton
it.
of it as a kid. I stopped about 3 seasons in, and did not really keep up with it. Didn't watch a lot of television. I turned 15 and got full easy access to the internet, but rewatching it now, it's amazing. I'll take that.
This is tough. It's a great pick. I'm going to go with Fairly Odd Parents.
Solid.
Very solid, especially early on. Fairly Odd Parents fell off hard, in my opinion. Still pretty great.
I'm hoping this isn't a first round reach by any means, but I truly loved watching the reruns of Dexter's Laboratory growing
Fantastic.
up.
No, that's
So
not a reach at all.
that's going to be my pick here. I'm going to go Dexter's Laboratory.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Or
back to back, Josh.
laboratory, as he would say.
Can you give us a
Fact.
Dexter impression?
No. There's just no way that's like in my depth, in my range, I think. So I've got back-to-back picks. That's right.
Correct.
You betcha. Don't get lost in the snake.
Yeah, regular show has a pretty strong resume, so I think I'll take regular show.
Have to. That was
Really
going to be
good.
my next one. Didn't snag.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping it would get back to me. But I'll stay with the Nick classics, and I'll take Jimmy Neutron.
Nice.
Also solid.
Chad, you've got the back-to-back.
Okay, shoot. I forgot I had the back-to-back. But I'll start. I took an entire class on this freshman year of high school. Best class. Samurai Jack. Fantastic show. I love Samurai. And I will bounce off of that with Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, wow. That one totally was flying under the radar for me.
That was another one of my favorites because I always kind of felt like I was in like a little isolated area. I had neighbors, but super cool setting. Love that show.
Spooky.
Very.
That's a great pick. I'm going to take Teen Titans. I was a huge
Nice.
Teen Titans guy. Ugh.
One of the greatest
Okay,
theme
Josh,
songs
your
in
last
cartoon
two.
history, man.
Yes.
All right, let's see. I'm actually glad this is still on the board. I was worried one of you guys were gonna swipe this one away. I'm taking Codename Kids Next Door.
Nice.
It's a good one. It's really good.
Man,
Super
that
solid.
show was incredible. Like, that is, like, when I just think of growing up and turning on the TV and putting it on Cartoon Network, that is by far one of the shows I expect to be on.
You know that they were trying to do a version of that show a few years ago, where like
No.
number one had grown up and
Whoa.
like the original Kids Next Door were like kind of dubbed out, and group had come in and who were the gonna be big, but never got picked up. Okay.
Wait, I think, is it back to me?
Oh,
Is
you
it
snake it?
Snake,
Okay,
yeah.
Correct.
Last
Don't get
round?
lost in the snake.
4 rounds?
Yep, your last round.
Ooh. Okay. Goodness, I'm so Cartoon Network heavy, but I did say that this was, that was my channel and everything. Makes me feel like I want to switch it up going into the final round, trying to think through some Nickelodeon classics. Oh, yeah, give me Ren and Stimpy.
Watched that as a kid?
Man, it's
Well,
stupid.
that's a good point. Were there really reruns of that growing up?
There were. I remember catching a single episode. Very strange, but it definitely aired it from time.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that show from time to time. It didn't come on frequently, but like every episode was funny. Like that's what stood out. Every episode was funny.
Okay, Ren and Stimpy. Not one that I saw a lot of, but I think it is a classic. I am gonna go with Danny Phantom with my last one.
Oh.
That's another
Cool.
great
Song.
song.
That one, the Danny Phantom theme song gets stuck in my head once a day, every week of my life.
I was at a garage
That wasn't
show
right.
in college
Once-
one time. They
You get what I'm
started
trying to
playing
say.
that, and that was like one of the hypest punk bands.
Wow.
All right,
It's really
final pick
strong.
for my.
Yep, Mr. Irrelevant.
You betcha.
Not surprised that this hasn't been picked yet because I don't think you guys are interested at all. But I was a massive Pokemon.
Oh,
I'm gonna take the original Pokemon.
good call. Good call. And
That's
I
a
realized
steal.
the way you prefaced
That's a
that,
steal.
I knew that was your pick. I knew that was your pick.
Did y'all ever watch 4Kids Entertainment?
No.
That was where all of the like dubbed anime was shown on American television, and it was like heavily censored. It was amazing.
Actually, I'm not surprised because once again, I famously did not have cable. But I almost have never watched Pokemon. Although I've got a lot of friends who are obsessed and can like quote episodes from growing up. Oh my gosh! What's I think the biggest miss on my part, and I really terribly badly wish I had it in my top 4, is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
That's easily like Nickelodeon's second. Like that's under
holy
SpongeBob.
smokes,
I
dude.
totally forgot about
What a
that. I
miss.
never watched it as a kid. Actually, I watched it like a handful of times when it
Oh.
was on, but I never like watched it end to end till the middle of last year.
I've watched it through a couple times, and
Amazing.
it still slaps so hard.
Wow.
And then Ben 10.
Oh, yeah,
I was
Ben
I had
10.
I had Ben 10 in my head the whole time, but it just if things went differently, it was like my second pick the last 2 rounds, but it just didn't. It wasn't able to sneak in there.
No one went with Seth MacFarlane shows. I'm a little shocked. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about Family Guy.
See, I was
but
thinking
felt like we
childhood
needed a little
cartoons.
bit
It doesn't
more
feel like a childhood cartoon for
child-friendly
me.
cartoon, not
You get
outside of
into-
Fox.
Yeah, you get into cartoons as a whole.
Yeah,
and
no
things
Comedy
just
Central,
completely
no
change.
South Park, Butthead, none of
Because South Park, Simpsons, Family Guy are like probably the 3 funniest cartoons I've ever seen in my life. On the childhood part, and then of course you get Rick and Morty, you get a little more modern there. Golly, I had it, and then I just lost. Oh, Phineas and Ferb, another big
Oh,
one.
Yep.
yeah.
I was trying to remember Disney cartoons. I was like, what did they have? I was always there for Sweet Life of Jack and Cody live action.
Yep.
But Phineas and Ferb also
Yeah.
good. Amazing themes.
Yeah. Wizards.
Wizards
I've watched
of
a good amount
Waverly
of
Place,
Wizards in
man.
my life.
Yep. Yep. Hannah Montana went hard.
I was in a
I've
Hannah
seen
Montana
a decent amount of
watcher.
Hannah Montana.
Oh, it was great. It was
It's funny. It was good. Oh, it was entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lil, That's So Raven.
That's So
Pinch.
Raven. Yeah.
Corey in the house, man. Freaking Corey in the house.
Corey in the house.
Yeah, I'm in the house.
I mean,
oh, dude, that theme song was great.
I think I know what we need to end today's episode with once there.
Oh, I don't have it down. I don't have that
I could do
theme
it.
song
I could
down.
do it all
Wow.
myself. I know
Let's
it
go.
by my heart. Can we run over the
I don't have
results
it
of
at
the
all.
draft real quick?
but I will. I would love to do some background vocals for you guys, just kind of skit and scat. So Chad with the first pick took Adventure Time, then got Samurai Jack, Courage the Cowardly Dog, and finished up with Pokemon. Very strong. In the middle, I got Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, Teen Titans, the original, not Teen Titans Go, and Danny Phantom. And
solid.
Josh, with the wraparound, got Dexter's Laboratory, regular show, it's beefy. Codename Kid Next Door, really good. And then Ren and Stimpy to wrap it up.
All of these are powerhouses.
Yeah.
And I would
Dude,
not
these
be
are
upset if
strong
I only
lineups,
had
dude.
DVDs of all four of these, or all three of our four choices.
I think, a lot of generations would say this because we're all just, factors of our own environments. But I do feel like we grew up in a golden age of childhood cartoons. I mean, like,
100%.
just so good. So good. The Crazy or Wild World of Gumball or whatever, that's a newer one. Like, that was past my generation. But
I like
every
that
time
show
I
a lot.
see it, I enjoy it. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just, popped in my head there at the end. And then we started talking about, the actual live actions and sitcoms of our youth. And you go to Nikki at Drake and Josh.
Drake
Zoe
and Josh.
101. Ooh.
Legendary. Y'all remember when
Yeah, that's big.
Cartoon Network did
iCarly.
live action shows?
I'd never once seen one, I don't think.
I remember the one where they would just blow things up.
Yeah, with Andrew WK.
They had the show where they would just just make experiments and blow them up. Like that
it was
the goal
called
of
Destroy, Build, Destroy.
Yeah, destroy.
It was a
Build,
cool
Destroy.
show. It was like a group of kids would have to make a contraption to do a certain thing. Or no, they would have to first destroy something, then use the pieces of what they destroyed to build another thing, and then whoever's lost got destroyed again. Like the other team would then destroy it, and then they'd have to use it again or something like that. I don't know, but I was it did not compute in my brain that I would go to a channel called Cartoon Network and see Andrew WK. It was a bizarre era. It was strange. It was when the writer's strike was happening and they didn't have to write anything, so it was all reality shows.
Classic.
Bad time for Cartoon
this,
Network.
This brings me on to a plethora of further tangents, but I'd like to bring it back to present day, or else I think we'll get completely lost in the sauce, and we could be
Yes.
talking about youths forever. Two things that I watched recently. I'm on a good run going to the theater, and
Nice.
I recently saw The Iron Claw. You guys know anything about The Iron
Oh.
Claw?
I do know about it, have not seen it, but heard Zac Efron is great.
Yes,
He's amazing. That's a sobber of a movie.
I heard the ending is brutal. That's all. I've just seen comments. The ending killed me everywhere.
Heart-wrenching.
Oh, boy.
Heart-wrenching. Caprice is in on the Iron Claw. It was incredible. And then I don't even want to say anything about it because you could just Wikipedia the family and actually find out what happened to them, and it's mind-boggling.
Oh, it's a true story?
It's a true story. And it's about
Okay.
a wrestling family in the late 70s, early 80s. And it's just one of the biggest tragedies you've ever seen in your life. I do recommend watching it though. And then I recently saw Saltburn. That was a saucy one.
Both I've heard great things
Yeah.
about, but I have not been. I have been out of the movie game recently. Fortunately, did you see Saltburn, Josh?
No, but there have been a lot of people around here talking about, like, for some reason, everybody wants to get together as, like, one big group and watch Saltburn together. They're like, oh, it's going to be crazy. Like, it's going to make everyone they just want everybody to, like, get uncomfortable watching it, I think, is what I've been told. But, like, if it happens and they do this Saltburn watch party, I'm going to be there, man.
It's an amazing peanut gallery movie. I'd say probably the best peanut gallery movie that I have watched since I was at Chad's apartment and watched Fantastic Fauna or Magnificent Mushrooms, whatever it is.
Fungi.
Fantastic Fungi. Yeah, with Colby. That's still, I haven't had that's one of the greatest peanut gallery experience I've had in my life. But this one, Saltburn, there is some crazy stuff that happens. And there's some good, once you like watch the movie and then you kind of get in on like, there's a lot of really good Reddit theories about it. So that gets fun. And then also just you watch some like videos of people seeing it in the theaters. And we have like a whole group of people. I mean, like audible gasps and screams. My fiance Lauren saw it in the theaters, and at one point something happened where a woman got up and put her jacket on and was like about to leave.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's fun, but like, so it's got some shock and awe in it, but I also legitimately thought it was a great movie. So it backs it up with like a great plot, a lot of twists. So anyway, I really highly recommend Saltburn. And then so the third movie I saw in the past like week basically was this rom-com where they're like in Australia with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell, and it was like a 5 out of 10, but not disappointing. Like, you know, I got my laughs. I got a lot of looks at the Sydney Harbor, and after our friends from the Aussie Drop Bears came over and continuously bragged about Sydney being the best harbor in the world, like getting, I mean, a lot of real nice drone shots. It was worth the price of admission just to look at the different angles of the Opera House and the bay. So that was, I mean, you know, it wasn't a quality movie, but
You remember
I knew
the
what I was
name
signing
of
up for.
this film?
Yeah, Anybody But You, I think, or Anyone But
That
You.
sounds right. That sounds right.
Saw this in theater?
Yep, I did. It was
Okay.
it's like a Much Ado About Nothing scuba, which I did not know going into it. The Iron Claw and Anyone But You were two movies that I went into it without knowing just about anything about, which is
Funky
fun.
Phil's
I like
in
that.
the chat, and he
Yeah,
responded.
Funky Phil is
He said,
completely
"Damn
repping
straight."
Sydney.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
Let's go. What's up, Funky Phil? That's fantastic.
Funky. This absolutely warms my heart. Yeah, the Harbor, it's an absolute slammer. It's a bucket list for me to see it in person. They end up in the harbor at one point, which terrifies me because you guys know my greatest fear in life is water that I can't see the bottom of. And you know they've got sharks out there.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Moving away from the media tangents real quick, I think that Bruce
Yes.
brings up a great point. The hair updates, I think, need to discuss for both Biko and Josh. Biko, can you please tell us through your current long hair, don't care journey, where it's at? Because last
Yeah,
week
for
you were
sure.
hatting it up.
I was hatting. I'm just trying to keep people on their toes, you know. I almost wore sunglasses, like do a little PFD commenter
Whoa.
tonight, but I just looked absolutely ridiculous. Famously not a sunglass face. My face is too small. But yeah, I've just been letting it grow. I mean, like that's pretty. It turns out it's got a little. I appreciate that, Bruce. It's got a little Scoob to it. It's got a little English. It's got a little razzle and a pinch of dazzle. So I'm just kind of letting it eat a little bit. I'm gonna have to style it before I get on the air again in a couple weeks here. I'm gonna do something a little more professional, but I am gonna keep it a little. You know, I'm gonna keep a little pinch of lettuce. So
Love to hear that.
yeah, but I'm probably gonna pop the front. Like I think it's just gonna be a trimmed down version of this. I was trying for a couple weeks to do like the center part, but that takes like some skill, and I was trying to train it with a hat, and it just ZB tried to run me through it. He's a master of both fashion and hairdos, and you know I just don't have that slick Louisiana skill like he does. So the center part I don't think is gonna work for me.
Some people just aren't cut out for the middle part, man.
No,
Huh.
I would like to be, but I mean, Chad pulls it off beautifully. But that's a whole different. Chad, I like what's going on with the length right here. Are you still cooking?
Yeah.
You gonna do
no,
anything goofy or?
I'm liking it too. It's at a point where I really want it to be. So I'm leaving it.
Yeah.
Maybe once it
think
gets
that's the
hot,
spot.
once it gets super hot again, then maybe I'll cut it off. Maybe I'll trim it up, thin it up a little bit. But we're chilling. We're rocking. We're letting it flow.
See, this is why Chad is still in parentheses the winner, because we've got Bruce in the chat that just says unprompted Chad is cool. Like it's like, yeah, he's the winner. So it all comes back around to that. The only other story I've got from the past since I've been with you guys, since I'm coming down, I've got a little Florida vacay, and then we're kicking off here with this tour in a little bit. I had my big goodbye to all my family, my dad, my mom, grandparents, and this and that this past weekend, and staying at my mom's for a couple nights. Also celebrated old Kurt the Hurt's birthday with a little hibachi and Dave & Buster's. Classic 27th birthday celebration.
Very nice.
And a little bowl ski, which I tossed a 99 in. Humiliating. That's not what you want. But I digress. I locked myself out of the bathroom at my mom's house in just an astonishing mistake. Like, unlocked the door, pulled it, for some reason locked it, pulled it shut, bang, bathroom door locked. Buffoon.
You were locked out of the bathroom?
Correct.
You were clothed, right? Please tell me you were clothed.
I was clothed. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna try and pick it, but I might have to call a locksmith here. Like, this could be a really colossal disastrophe. But it was a very easy pick with a flathead screwdriver. So it was a happy ending at the end. Yeah, but just classic Biko mistake, Closed the door, and I was like, wait, did I just... And then now you're stuck out, buddy.
Yeah, I've done that with my own front door plenty of, actually.
Did you inform anybody that this had happened before you were able to successfully pick the lock?
My mom, and she gets credit for sending me to the flathead screwdriver that then got it in. Yeah, so that was a big win. That was a big win for her. Just classic Biko mistake.
Yeah.
You guys watched some NFL football this weekend?
Oh, did I?
Blowout city.
Did I?
Except for Detroit and LA.
Sunday's games were pure cinema, man. Pure cinema. Like, as somebody, I can't say the Cowboys have ever done anything to me in my lifetime, but gosh darn it, man, they're annoying, Like, I don't know what it is
they're
about
Cowboys.
them.
Right.
I think they're God's gift to earth or something like that. I mean, Jerry, all of them, they're just obnoxious. And so seeing the Packers come in as a 7 seed against a 2 seed and boat race them was unbelievable. I mean, that fired me up. Jordan Love looked really good. I mean, that was a performance where I'm like, maybe this guy's got to move up on a Garoppolo index. That good.
I knew it was going to come back to that. I knew it was, because him and Stroud were both 16 for 21 with like 272 and 270 yards respectively, one way or the other. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Like, they had identical playoff debuts, and both got their teams upsets in the first round. So it was fun to watch. And it's the world just celebrates when the Cowboys are being humiliated like that and had won 16 straight home games and continue to be horrendous in the playoffs. It's just, and there's something with the Dak Prescott, like, okay, here we go, before every single snap, that, like, when they're rolling, it's like, oh my gosh, these guys are unstoppable. But when they're getting pounded at home as a 7.5-point favorite against the Packers, who had to win in Week 17 to get into the playoffs, and all of a sudden you're down 27-0, and you've got the okay, here we go. It's like, oh, now it's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Now it seems kind of lame.
Weak.
And that feels good. And then everyone celebrates. Everyone's just so happy to see the misery of Cowboys fans.
Yeah, shout out Jordan Love, by the way. Pretty sure he took the final kneel of the game and did the okay, here we go right back at the Cowboys,
Subtle.
which was
Subtle.
legendary. That was good. That was really good.
Smell ya.
I mean, he had an entire Packer Sean Clifford drive to just sit there on the sidelines and think about how he was going to troll them. That's what he came up with. Masterclass.
A lot of really good Baker Mayfield out there too, because he helped the Buccaneers dominate the Eagles. And then there's just all the stats about how Baker Mayfield has 2 playoff wins and the Browns have one playoff win, like in the 21st century, and it was led by Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
And they just gave up on him for the nasty man, Deshaun Watson, for the most guaranteed money to a player in NFL history. And Baker's out here on his third team since then. Right? Am I right on that? He went Panthers, Rams,
and
now to the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I think that's right. People forget, by the way, during that Baker Mayfield Browns playoff run, that he came this close to beating the Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium if it weren't for Chad Henne, of all people. Not Patrick Mahomes, Chad Henne.
The winner.
Well, yeah, Patty got hurt, and Henne, this was back in like my prime betting days. I was a different human being, and I had too much money compared to what was in my bank account on the Chiefs. And I was terrified and sick to my stomach, and then Chad Henne just pulled it out. I mean, he had a huge, I think it was like a fourth down conversion.
It was scrambling for that first down, man. That's what sealed it for him. Legendary.
Scrambling. And then he had a couple, it was either third downs or another fourth down that he like rolled out and did that little toss to Kelsey and the toss to Hill. I mean, back when they had Tyreek Hill. I can remember that game like it was yesterday. So, yeah, man, that Baker would have been in the AFC Championship if not for Chad Henne.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, Lions-Rams as well Sunday. Great game.
Amazing.
Close game. Fun the whole way
through. That was the best
through.
game, obviously. Yeah.
And just seeing all, like, the way that they handled at the very end, the Lions advancing and all the crowd shots and seeing these people just rejoicing, people crying, like that was really what fired me up. I was like, this was an unbelievable day of not just playoff coverage, but just NFL football, man.
First time in 32 years, something like that,
Since
the Lions
91.
got a playoff win. Yes. I saw a good one on Twitter, a picture of a Michigan fan chowing down at the national championship. It was like this guy just saw the Wolverines and the Lions have more playoff success than guys who are 40 years old had in their entire lives. Shout out Detroit. They're on top of the world right now.
Yeah,
Rams, the only team that I'm really sad to see knocked out of the playoffs. Like Puka, he had like 9 receptions for like nearly 200 yards. He's so nimble. He's so tough to bring down.
Puka and Stafford. I mean, that's coming from somebody who just likes knowing that there's a good Georgia quarterback out there, you know, kind of dominating the league, leading the top 5 offense in the NFL. So that's fun.
He was getting smoked and just throwing dimes and getting tattooed.
Throwing no-look passes.
Yeah, he's tremendous. He is, and he's got the Mahomes. He's like the original, like he's sidearming. He's got all these different arm angles and stuff. Because you really need Stafford because this is a dark day for Georgia QBs with the demise of Mac Jones, Tua stumbling down the stretch, Bryce Young, number 1 overall. Was very underwhelming this year. Jalen Hurts was on top of the world, and he really faded down the stretch. This is the modern Georgia QB. No. These are all
Alabama quarterbacks. I was wondering what point we were getting at here.
Yep.
I was
every single person
confused.
I just listed.
But they're making the Georgia products.
All Alabama.
They're making the Georgia products kind of look better, you know.
And is there another Georgia QB right now? Starter?
Starter-wise? No, I don't think so off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, sorry to see Stafford go. Monday's games, so, like, Sunday was the peak of NFL football. Monday was, like, a low point. I wasn't particularly invested between the Bills and the Steelers, but there are a couple Steeler fans around the office. I've watched some Steelers games this year, so tough to see that kind of happen. See if the Bills go anywhere. I know they're rolling, so good for them. And then Ivan Trezak would let you know if he was on this podcast once again that it's well documented. I am the biggest Eagles fan in the world on Monday nights only. I'm a Falcons fan naturally, but if the Birds and the Falcons are playing on Monday night, there is no way I mean, hell would have to freeze over for me to cheer for the Atlanta Falcons to beat the Eagles on a Monday night. And seeing the Birds fall to the Bucs was horrible. The Eagles should fire Nick Sirianni. They should fire Matt Patricia. They should fire everybody on staff. Yvonne wants them to get rid of Jalen Hurts, which I think is an egregious take on his part.
Yeah, that's an overreaction.
I just think they've got a clean house in terms of staff only.
Agree. Pop in the chat really quick. Bruce, no, I did not get this at the Syracuse Fair. I made 2 colossal mistakes in my 3 years at Syracuse. One, I never made it out to the New York State Fair. The aforementioned Kurt the Hurt and I tried to go during freshman year, but we didn't have cars at that point, so we were trying to get a bus. Then we kind of missed the bus, and we're college kids. We're just like, whatever. We just ended up goofing around. And 2, I never went to Canada, which was an hour and a half away. But I didn't have a passport. So anyway, I digress. We go back to the Eagles. Yeah, if you go to Yvonne's Twitter, he was absolutely lighting the organization up. It's tough. You didn't watch the game with him, did you?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
I was actually, while part of that game was going on, I was at the ECHL Hockey All-Star game with tickets that I got through your host mom, Paula Berman, who, by the way, it is Wednesday, January 17th, and I don't think she listens, but if she does, happy birthday, Paula Berman. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Paula.
Whoa!
Looks like I've just broken news to Biko Scala.
You did. Holy crap. Good stuff, Josh. That's huge. I'll be texting
Got a few
Paula.
hours of the day left.
Yeah, we got plenty of
Save
time
yourself.
now. Steve, also good. Yeah, it is celebration time that the IG has lasted over an hour. I don't know why it ends randomly at an hour usually, but maybe they have. We've earned some kind of extension for our massive viewership. To finish up on the shirt, I got it on Tybee Island actually in Savannah. It's a Fireball Tuesday shirt, so I got it with the crew. And Paula said it was a crew at the ECHL All-Star game. She said the people were out in mass.
Yeah, we had 6 people in our group, and then Paula was there with her brother and a couple other friends, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Juiceful. Yeah, love to hear it. Burgers tonight?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, to be honest with
it's been
you.
a pretty busy day for everyone involved, and honestly, I just think burgers was the last thing on everybody's minds, and a lot of us.
First Wednesday since Christmas break without burgers?
Believe so.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
It is. But we were gonna have some burgers for lunch. Turns out Sly's is closed on Wednesdays of all days.
Bizarre.
So nope, no burgers today, unfortunately.
Wow. Well, you guys, I hope you're going to be okay mentally, physically, in your soul without
Tough.
Yeah, we'll see.
that ground meat tonight.
It's hard. It's tough, but we'll persevere. We'll get.
Hopefully this hasn't just affected the morale of the podcast. That's all I can pray.
No.
I got just
No,
the thing to bring us right back up with.
Yeah,
Ready to close
Chad,
this thing down. I think I can.
what do we got, baby?
I think I can bring it back. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm gonna need a little bit of background help with this one, okay? Because I'm gonna do both parts. Because I'm not gonna help with this, but just kind of gab and scat. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to freestyle.
How does it go? Okay, it goes how does it even start?
Uh-oh.
I'm just gonna jump into the.
Ooh, ah.
Corey in the house. Yeah, it's a party every
Oh.
week, baby.
Yeah.
Corey, check it out.
Ooh.
That's right, I'm in the house. We're gonna shake it up and change it. Take it all and
Shake it.
rearrange it just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Dun, dun, I don't know this part. We got Corey
Neither
in
do
the
I.
house.
I'm in the
Yeah.
house.
Corey in the house.
You betcha.
I'm the
Wow.
man.
Oh!
You are the man, Chad.
Yeah. That was nice.
Thank
Really
you.
well done.
Thank you.
I feel like
It-
$1 million.
I might have missed a part at the beginning now that I think about it, but you know what? That's okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta you know what or get off the you know what, and You did an excellent job of just taking command. That was a great example of why everybody that I know calls you Chad, the winner,
Winner Reese.
Benson, Smith, Reese.
Thank you.
I don't know why. I don't know why there's a Smith in there, but that's what people have been saying.
I'll take it, man. Why not?
You boys have a delightful Wednesday. We will actually see each other again in the virtual world on Tuesday because we got a little K Club thing going on. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
A little something, a little for the people.
Nice
So we'll go a
tease.
little back-to-back nights next week, and I'm going to be in the Sunshine State, kicking it back with Lauren's family. Actually, I might be from Disney World. We'll discuss. I don't really know my schedule, but we'll discuss.
I'll figure
Yep.
something out.
Good. Chad, you've got the voice of an angel. Great work, buddy.
Thank you.
Funky Phil, wish your dad a 90th happy birthday. And to all, have a wonderful evening.